Hey, thanks for checking out my video. I'm Olivia, and today I'm going to be doing a palette bingo. I had a couple ideas for palettes I wanted to use for this video. You could probably tell from the thumbnail and the title, but I decided to use these ones for today. I might end up doing another palette bingo featuring all the ColourPop palettes that I reached for in my last shop my stash. I feel like that'd be a fun idea. I would think more people might have ColourPop palettes compared to these. I don't think these were available for quite as long as the ColourPop palettes typically are. So if you'd be interested in seeing this type of video with those palettes as well, please let me know. But back to the Norvina palettes. These are all pretty colorful and pretty different, so I felt like it would still be really fun to try out a palette bingo using these together. These are the mini Pro Pigment palettes. So this is volume 1. This one's volume 2, clearly a much different vibe. And then here we have volume 3. I feel like between palettes 1 and 3 alone, there's a really good chance we're going to end up with a lot of pinks or berry tones today. We'll see though, we could really end up with something completely different. So I'm excited to see what we get. Alright, shout out to Bradley for letting me steal his phone for this very important palette bingo. In my last one, I used my laptop to do the random number generator and honestly felt like a fool just holding up my massive laptop while I was trying to film. So yes, we borrowed the fiance's phone. So I've set the number generator from 1 to 9, and I'm going to be randomly selecting 2 shades from each palette. Hopefully we end up with something somewhat cohesive, or at least complementary. And then I'll think of a way to throw them all together on my eyes. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad, but I'm going to pick the first one, or I guess the first 2 shades. We have 5 and 9. Ooh. Alright, so from this palette, 5 is the shimmer shade here, and then 9 obviously is this last one. They don't have like real shade names. This is just technically B2, and then this one was C1, or I guess C3, sorry. These are the shades swatched out. That shimmer is actually gorgeous. It looks like a little bit of a duochrome. I probably shouldn't have like swatched it right on my knuckles because I feel like it's taking away from it. But yeah, this is what we're working with so far. It's looking a little berry toned. So now we'll go with the second palette. So we have 8 and 4. So this is going to be a fun color story. 4 is this one here, and then 8 is this green shade here. So I'll just swatch them out. Sorry in advance, I got some of the orange matte in that green shimmer swatch. But this is the color story right now. I'm really sorry, my knuckles are really throwing off the first shade. But yeah, very interesting color story. I'm excited. A little nervous about palette number 3, but let's just go for it. So we have 8 again and 5. All right. So 8 is this green shade here, and then 5 is obviously the bright blue. So you know what? Very, very interesting color story. Not as berry toned as I thought it would be. Not as cohesive as I thought it would be. I feel like we can work with it though. Like this shimmer's a little bit of a light green. It kind of goes with these shades, but also the orange. The 2 first shades obviously go pretty well together. It's not the worst thing. I feel like I can create something fun. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to think about it for a long while, and I'll be back when I'm ready to do an eye look. All right, my eyes are primed. I think I have a plan. I forgot to mention as well, I didn't put any blush or highlight on because I felt like the look could really go in any direction. So I'm going to do that at the end. I feel like this is a really fun, interesting color story. There's a lot of different directions you could take a color story like this. I'm very curious to know what you would have done. But for me, I think what I've decided is I might just go ham and put all the mattes in the crease. I was debating doing a cut crease, but I don't know if I'm really feeling that today. So I think I'll just go like full color in the crease and then use the 2 shimmers on the lid. I was kind of tempted to do like warm tones on the top, cool tones on the bottom. But I don't know, I feel like that can be kind of predictable, maybe a little bit boring. So yeah, I'm just going to put all the colors everywhere. And let's see how it goes. So I'm going to start with this shade that we picked from the first Norvina palette. And I'm going to put that in the outer corner and up into the crease a little bit. And I'll probably bring it onto the lower lash line as well. I haven't used any of these palettes in probably at least like 2 years. So I was really excited to do this little palette bingo today and play around with all of them at once. That is a gorgeous shade. I really like that actually. Sometimes I feel like berry tones can get a little bit boring because, at least in my opinion, they kind of creep into the realm of like almost neutrals. Or maybe not neutral, but they're a lot more approachable, at least in my opinion. So I feel like I wear them a lot more frequently for that reason. Like I'll wear them to work if I want something toned down but still a little bit colorful. So I don't know, I feel like because I wear them so much, they're not really as exciting to me all the time, but that's a really pretty shade. I like that one. So I think what I'm gonna do is blend that out a little bit. I don't know if it'll blend that well, but I'm gonna use the blue shade here. And I'm also going to place the blue shade kind of beside it on the crease so that it also kind of has its own moment. But I'm hoping I can also use it to blend out. I might go back in with the pink again after. It's not perfect, but it definitely went a lot better than what I thought it would. I will add a bit more though and just kind of stamp it right here. Just to make sure, again, I want it to have its own moment and be very prominent in the look. So from the same palette, I'm going to take the green that we pulled and I'm going to pack it right in front of that blue. And I'm trying to leave enough space in the front for the orange. I'm wondering if it was a bit ambitious to think I could have all 4 shades on the crease. I feel like they're going to sandwich together a little bit. That's okay. I feel like it'll look cool at the end. I'd love to know if you guys have any of these small palettes from Norvina. I don't remember them being as hyped as like the really big palettes she came out with. I feel like those were a little bit more popular. But I will say this little trio is very fun. Going back in with a little bit more of that blue just to bring it back. I'm actually really liking how this is looking so far. Honestly, I'm kind of hesitant to add the orange now because I feel like I don't know, all the tones I feel like are working really well together. But I pulled the orange, so we're going to use it. We're going to stick with the plan. And this is the shade B1 from the second volume. We really didn't get any like softer, more like transitional colors. Like it would have been great to get one of these 3 up here. I feel like any of these would have gone really well with the look too. But clearly that was not in the cards today. We got all punchy, bold colors. Although I guess the blue is on the lighter side. Oh no! That's what I get for trying to talk and do my makeup at the same time. I need to fix that. I don't love that. It's kind of hard to fix, but just take a little bit more green. Just pretend it never happened. Yeah, I think so far the orange is my least favorite addition in this look. I just feel like the tones don't really match up. All the other shades are a little bit on the cooler side. I do think it'll be a cool pop though once the look is done. Just right now it looks a little, I don't know. She doesn't really belong.
She doesn't even go here.
But you know what? We'll make it work. I'm going to re-intensify pretty much every shade that I already put down. Mostly stamping to make sure the colors really stick, but I am trying to blend at the same time. Just so it does still look as diffused as possible. And the blue I might bring up just a little bit higher because I feel like it's blending out the purple and the green kind of nicely. And because it's like probably the lightest shade, I feel like it works to kind of bring that one a little higher so it doesn't get too lost. Just taking a clean brush to try and blend over it a little bit more. And adding a little bit more of that purple. Okay, so we have 2 shimmers that I pulled. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the green won't really match. My original plan was to use the green in the front portion and then this goldy pink shade on the rest of the lid. I don't know if the gold is really showing up, but it is very much like a gold to a pink. But yeah, I'm kind of second guessing. I don't think this really goes. I think I'll start with the first shimmer all over the lid And then I might top the green over it in the front, or I'll figure out a way to do it on the lower lash line. I think that's what I want to do. But now I'm scared to commit. Ooh, that is so pretty. These are also very soft shimmers. I don't know what that means in terms of telling you about quality, but they feel soft. You know what? Yeah, I don't really love that shade here. I don't know if I'm gonna love the green anymore though. I don't want to ruin the look. Although I might have already. Let's just go for it. I'm just gonna do the green. I feel like this just immediately took away from all the cool blending I did. We're gonna try to bring it back though. Yeah, I don't really know the best placement I could have done for the shimmers, because I feel like neither of the shimmers looked that great in this portion, so I don't know the best way I could have done that. It doesn't look bad. I'm just gonna re-intensify all the mattes and try to really bring them back, and then hopefully it'll kind of come together once I do that. Maybe I should have cut the crease. Maybe that's where this went downhill. I should have cut the crease. So this is the look so far. I like it. I don't love it. I feel like the shimmers and the mattes are just competing too much. Like when I put the shimmers down, the mattes kind of got lost. And then when I re-intensified the mattes, the shimmers kind of get lost. But I'm wondering if it's just because I'm using like literally 4 colors in my crease. I think it's fine though. I'm gonna leave it. I think for the lower lash line though, I'm just gonna go in with the blue and the green. The orange is kind of my least favorite, and I feel like if I focus on the blue and the green on the lower lash, I might be able to showcase that green shimmer a little bit better. So that's my plan. I think I'll do that. And both of those were from the Volume 3 palette. So I'll start with the green. This is kind of the primary shade I want to use. I feel like I should use the blue too, because I don't know if these will blend well together. But I'll start with this, and maybe they will play nicely. I'm gonna use a little bit of that blue on the edges, just to make the colors all mesh a little bit nicer. All right, so I'm gonna take some of the green shimmer and I'm gonna put that on the inner part of the lower lash line. I think I'm gonna skip over it for the inner corner, just because the orange is there. Ooh, that looks way prettier. Maybe I'll bring it a little bit in the inner corner. I'll start with this though. And then maybe I'll re-intensify the other shimmer on the lid, just because I do want it to be part of the look since I pulled for that shade. I really like this color. I just didn't love it on the lid there. I'll just do a little bit on the inner corner. I am kind of reluctant to use the shimmer now because I feel like it doesn't really go. But again, it really got lost. I kind of want to bring it back. I'm just gonna leave it to the outer half though, because I feel like those mattes are a little bit more complementary to the color of the shimmer. You know what? I'm happy with that choice. I feel like that was a good decision. All right, I think that's pretty much gonna be it for the eye look. There's a lot going on, but I'm sure once I add a lash and kind of finish up the look, it'll come together. Hopefully. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be back in just a second. I feel like I might be approaching clown territory. Things got a little bit out of hand. This is the final look. I swear I started with like the daintiest, just little kiss of blush on the cheeks. It was looking so pretty. And then I just felt like I needed to add more. And then another color, and then more of that. So this was like kind of an accidental situation. So I went in with this blush duo from Glamlight. It's from their second Scooby-Doo collection, I believe. I started with just the pinky shade. Again, it looks so pretty. It was just the perfect shade. But then I felt like it would have been even prettier if I added the shade to the front. So it is a little bit much, but I feel like it's pretty. It still kind of works. My highlight is from the Frosting palette from Cosmic Beauty. And I just went in with Cinnamon Swirl. It's pretty glittery, but I mean, clearly I'm doing the most for this look, so we just went for it. For the lips, obviously I was tempted to go in with the nude. I felt like that would have been the prettiest, but I am trying to challenge myself to go for a more bold lip every now and then in 2026. So I just kind of mixed these two lippy sticks from ColourPop. This one is in the shade Dancing Lady, and this one's in the shade Orchis. Of course, I picked the look with the most colorful eye look and the most bold blush to also do a bold lip. Again, kind of edging into the clown territory. I'm hoping I'm not fully there. It's fun though, I feel like it's a pretty look. My lashes are an older pair that were actually from ColourPop. I forget what the style was. I don't have the original packaging anymore, but I wanted something with a bit of a flare that was still pretty bold. Again, we're just going for the whole bold all over kind of theme today. And then I went in with 3 different pencils in the waterline. So these two are from LA Girl. The purple is called Vivid, and the green is called Gotcha. And then I also went in with Prance from ColourPop. So I just kind of did it in the same order as the eyeshadow. So I went in with the purple on the outside, then Prance, and then the shade Gotcha on the inner part. So yeah, those are the many things I used to finish up this look. I feel like it turned out really pretty. It's really colorful. I feel like it came together nicely. It does look a little bit more complete with like the lashes and the blush and everything. And yeah, overall, this was a really fun time. I'd love to know what you think of the final look, or if you would have done something differently with the shades that I pulled. Also, again, very curious to know who actually has these palettes. I feel like the Norvina like sub-sister brand as a whole was a bit of an anomaly. But I will say I have the bigger palettes, I have these. I also grabbed a couple of the eyeliners when they existed. I've always really enjoyed the brand, and I had a lot of fun playing around with these again as well. I hope you like this style of video. As I mentioned, I am planning on doing another one with the ColourPop palettes that I chose kind of for the spring season. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, then I hope you stick around. Thank you for checking out my video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!